What's going on, guys? How are you today? Appreciate you joining me here at Civilitan Mindset. Today, I'm going to show you guys kind of where it all began for me. There's two rifles here. I have this one and my AK-47, first AK-47, which is honestly very old. It doesn't look like it, but it is very old and it is a monster. This thing has been through some hell and it keeps on going. So first I'll start with this one, then I'll go through the other one. But you know, in the very beginning, it was bone stock. This was a Bushmaster regular 16-inch commercial build. So not the greatest and not the worst. This thing has gone through some shit. If you can actually see, I don't know if you can, but the barrel, if you can see it, the paint that used to be gray turned brown because of how fast and how hard I used to run this thing. But when I started to get into a different style of fighting, a different style of shooting, I did not prefer a 16-inch rifle because it's way too big. So I opted to put a big scope on here, and then I put a bipod as well as kind of left it as stock as possible. I'll go through these really quickly, what's on here, and tell you what I had on and why I took it off and stuff like that. But I'll start from tip to butt. Basically, this is a budget build. It's not super budgety anymore because, you know, it went from being a $500 gun to now what's in it. It's, you know, we'll do the math together. But this has a, oh, you know what, I don't know. I don't even remember what muzzle brake this has on here. It's a really great one though. What it does is it fires in all directions, mitigating recoil, but it pushes the rifle in the gas and the fire. It pushes it in a certain direction where it shoots past the shooter. It doesn't go directly side to side, so that this way, if you're online with somebody, they're not getting their vision obstructed or something like that. But I created this. Also, it gives it a spin, a very quick spin for when it keeps on turning. But I created this to be a long distance rifle, so you really wouldn't be on a line with somebody with this rifle. I put, let me see, a Crimson Trace weapon mounted light on here. This thing is actually like a very cheap light. You know, I used to make fun of people for having this on until I used it because I wanted to build a budget build, and then I started using it and I found out that this thing was pretty awesome. So I don't really use Crimson Trace anything, but I do this one light, and I don't think they even sell it anymore because of how good it was. And I know it's not on, if you were to find it, it wouldn't be at the same price point. I have on here BCM, I believe. Yep. I have BCM handguards, which are aluminum and free floating. So this weapon system is extremely light. The bigger of the weapon I go, I try to make it a lot lighter, unless the round is heavier, like 308 or above. But that being said, it's a very, very, very lightweight weapon. Like, you can literally just flip it around. This thing is crazy light. I can't really do that with any other weapons that I have. The smaller I go, the heavier, the heavier the weapon actually will become, because I want more stability. So it's, you know, I'm sacrificing certain things. With a longer weapon system like this, I can take a shot, reset, take a shot, reset, and I'm good to go. But on a bigger, or on a smaller weapon, more CQB, close quarter battle type of weapon, I need a fast, steady shot, and I don't want it to be jumping. So I use steel parts versus aluminum. But that's just my preference. That's my thing. I've come to notice that's just what I like. So if anybody were to ever, utilize a weapon from me, they're just gonna have to keep that in mind or man up, basically. These are UTG. Yep. UTG. Wow, can't believe bipod. It's kind of not a bipod though, so I almost forgot what it is. But this bipod, it attaches to the key mod locking mechanism, but you can actually take one off and keep one on, and so it acts as a monopod. But it's a bipod, and it's honestly super cheap. I don't really even remember what it was. This thing was probably no more than like $60, $50. I can honestly tell you, I first bought it so that it was just, again, on for a budget sniper rifle-esque type of weapon. And I ended up keeping it because this thing, honestly, they're really good. Their locking mechanism, you twist, turn, and then you close it, and you just open it, turn again, and it locks in place. These things are so much more than what I thought they would have been when I purchased them. I have inside the BCG, and for anybody wondering if it's loaded, it is not, but the BCG is a fail zero. I pretty much only use fail zeros. The charging handle here is a commercial charging handle, just an everyday normal charging handle, except I added an extended lever to it so that I can completely bypass the optic. As you can see right here, I can bypass the optic with absolutely no drawbacks. This is a Vortex Scope. I forget what Vortex Scope it is even anymore, but it's honestly phenomenal. This thing goes from 4 to 12 power. It's a super seriously good optic. I have had absolutely no issues with it whatsoever for the past like 7, almost 10 years that I've had this thing. I used to have, in the front and in the rear, I used to have backup sights. I took them off, kept the system the same way, because the way I utilize this system is I would have it here and I grab pretty much right here. So that's where I would be. My finger, if I needed to, would be right here, so I can utilize the flash if I needed to. And I just kept it on because I don't even do key mod anymore, so why would I take that off, right? Anyway, so I grabbed here, this is a fireproof tape, but it's on, I mean, at least I see that it's fireproof. I'm sure it could get on fire, catch on fire if I took a direct, but it's basically heat proof almost. I just wrapped it a few times, and then I have rubber in here. So if I'm taking a lot of shots, which I shouldn't be with this style of weapon anymore, my hand would never get hot, ever. And I've tested this thing out to get hot, and it did. As you can see, like I said, with the barrel being discolored. Let me see. The internals, I went from having a Geisley trigger in here. Then I realized what I wanted to do with this weapon, so I changed it from having a Geisley trigger back to mil spec. I just needed a regular trigger, so I ended up putting that on. I have a bad lever here. Sometimes I even forget what that's called, but I have this bad lever here. And what that does is it makes it so that the bolt, I can lock it in place, and you'll see this. Also, it's early in the morning. Apologize. I gotta get this, and I will either cut myself in, or I'm sorry, just bear with me. To perfection, Jamil speaking. How may I help you? Yeah, what up? Yeah. What time? I got 1:30 left. Remember? All right. I apologize. I'm sorry, but I am on the clock, so please bear with me. Again, I'm a small business owner, so not only am I doing this and trying to recreate another business or create another business, but I am also very busy being a father of two. So again, there's going to be some times where I got to step out of this world and go to the real world and go back into this world, which sadly is going to be a real world situation too, I think. Let's hope not, let's pray not, but it is what it is. Anyway, so what it does is it locks the bolt in place, and when I need to, again, this is not loaded, but it sends the bolt forward, locking another round in there, getting it ready to go. So now I went from here to here. The only thing left is pretty much Magpul housing, Magpul furniture, which I like a lot of Magpul stuff. If you notice, I will have even Magpul on this stuff. I always have a Magpul grip. I just like the way they feel. They're just really solid hand grips, and the rubber on the, what is it, I don't know, where is it? No, on my other weapons, it's like the MK2 or something like that. I don't really know. I forget. But the way they come down is it actually goes downward instead of at this angle going kind of towards me. It actually goes more towards the ground. I just like that because I pull my rifles a lot closer, a lot tighter than most people do. So I just enjoy that. But this is, again, a commercial weapon. So the buffer tube is a commercial buffer, and I think I use the same springs. I don't believe there's even any difference on the springs. I'm 99% sure of that. But the buffer tube, I cannot use this buffer tube and or this stock on a mil spec weapon. So these kind of are a standalone section. This doesn't change. So this goes pretty much nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. It's connected to the lower. So this lower is its own lower. It's just how it's going to be. So it stays on this weapon because, you know, as you see the paint job, I'm not going to separate the two because then it would just look stupid. So that's pretty much it for this weapon. And again, guys, if I get another call, I'm going to have to break away. I apologize, but business first. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, if you guys are local, please check me out at True Perfection Hair Studio. It's really only a barbershop anymore. It used to be a salon and barbershop, but I got kind of tired of the whole salon thing and just made it strictly a barbershop, which I am grateful for because things changed and it got so much better for me. So yeah, if you'd like to come in for a good haircut, I promise you I'll take care of you. Been in business for 7 years. Look me up, True Perfection Hair Studio. But anyway, back to this. So that's it for this weapon system right here. If you notice here, like I said, I used to have sights on here. This needs to be pushed back a little bit. The turrets should be directly in the center. This should be probably put back a little bit, but I've had this for so long and configured the same way. I kind of don't feel like it's necessary to even change it, so I'm probably not gonna, and I really don't care when, or if, I should say, somebody were to come up to me and say, hey, you know, you got that on wrong. I sure do. Trust me, don't worry about it. Don't really care. It's solid, shoots at 100 yards easy, and I don't even barely zoom in order to find out if my target hit. I zoom in only after the shots are fired, and trust me, they hit. So this is good from 100 plus, and I absolutely love this optic. And also, guys, I don't care what anybody says, high power and super expensive doesn't always mean great results. This is a great optic, and I would never take it off this weapon. But, you know, there's other weapon optics out there that can do almost this exact same thing as this does. But, you know, it's up to the person's budget. I don't have, at that time, I didn't have that much money Shoot, not nor do I have it today like that, because I mean we all see where the country's going. So this is a perfect optic for what it was. It's about like 300 and some change, almost $400. This is what makes your weapon. You can't use a weapon without an optic. That being said, I'm gonna go to this one right here and show you guys my AK my first AK build, which this is my baby right here. 7.62 by 39, Mac 90. It's a Chinese Norenko, I believe. Yep, Chinese Norenko. And this thing is a monster. So when I first got it, it was simply, you know, your everyday brown wood handle, brown wood pistol grip, brown wood stock. It was trash, right? So I ended up changing it, and I went with a quad rail system. Then I utilized a dog leg. So what a dog leg is this metal portion right here that I can put on an optic. I don't have to, because to be honest with you, the moment you use this section right here to co-witness with your sights, and it actually works just as well as your normal sights would, but I didn't like that setup, so I wanted a dog leg to be able to mount an optic on. And so some people might now be looking at this and saying, do you really have a SIG Romeo and Juliet setup on your rifle? Abso-fucking-lutely. Excuse my language for anybody who's younger and watching this. You shouldn't use that kind of language. Anyway, this set of optics is superb. I'm not even gonna lie. For 100 and some change, like almost $200, this setup is so well built. A lot of people talk crap on it. I've used this setup and I'm stupid happy with it. It not only does it have the magnification scope, but this weapon, I put rounds through this bad boy, and it doesn't go off. It doesn't go off target. It always stays on point. Sorry again, give me 1 second. Triple facts and Jamil speaking on my helmet. Yeah. What's that? Oh, so it's civility mindset. So it's, yeah, so how you spell it is CIVILI, yep, TANT. Yep. Nope, CIVILITA. Yep, TANT. Yep, so civilian militant. So civilitant mindset. Yep. All right, no problem, brother. Have a good one. All right, bye. Somebody interested in the channel. And again, guys, I can't thank you enough for giving me literally 71 subscribers within just under a month. You guys are awesome. I love you guys, and I can't thank you enough. I will be going out and shooting weapons like this very soon, but right now I want to work on M4s because that's, you know, AR-15 style rifles. That's what mostly people have. My AKs, I've had this for so many years. I've taken this out a numerous amount of times. I absolutely love this system, and I would not change it for anything. So, well, as of late, because I changed it quite a bit. But anyway, so this optic, this Sig Sauer Romeo and Juliet setup, this stays on point. It does not go and, you know, jump on me and change. Like it's honestly a freaking really good optic. So if anybody's worried about this and they have it and they're a little worried that, you know, they can't put it on a 308 or they can't put it on an AK, I've done it. And not only have I done it, but I have it on one of my other AKs eventually that I will bring in as well and show you guys. But this setup was one of my, you know, end of days kind of setup, where I wanted something that was going to be super durable, would shoot through anything, and this is it. So if anybody's worried about the Romeo and Juliet being on here, please don't. Go check it out. See for yourself if you like it or not, and go from there. But anyway, I don't know what this is. It's called PK6. This foregrip. I purchased this along with the quad rail, and it says Riley Systems. So I don't even know what it is. No, rail system, but I'm sorry. Sometimes my dyslexia gets to me. ACC Arms. So whatever that is. Never seen it before, but I ended up getting it because of what it had. And it had, at the time, just something that I can put on an optic. It wasn't this one. It was more of like a, what did I use? Oh, the Holosun 407C, right? So I had that on there for a little while. Did not care for it. The 407C handled the business, but I just wanted something a little bigger. You know what I mean? I didn't want something so small. And I also wanted something where if I was going to use it in the snow or something like that, that this would be covered. So this has a cover system, and it's actually pretty hard to take off, and which is nice because then you don't have to worry about it coming off. Let me see. I forget what this is. It's I don't know what stock this is, but it's awesome. When I bought it at the store, I was looking for something that I can level my face with the weapon so I can see. And it is honestly on point. What I do have to do and notice is with an AK, in order to have the optic, be able to utilize the optic, I have to be really close, which is cool with me because I actually enjoy more of a, not an outward approach to holding my weapon. I like them tucked in, and so I can snug that rifle tight. But that's just me. So yeah, I've gotten this thing completely worked on again. Went from, and believe it or not, bought this thing for $200. So $200 and turned it into this monster. It is now Cerakoted, completely cleaned out, Cerakoted, and it's just an absolutely beautiful weapon. This has gone through so many changes with Magpul furniture and all that stuff, and then I started doing quad rails that were, if you can see, they're thin. It's a very thin setup. I have these style, that's Magpul handguards on it, so that on this side I can mount an a weapon mounted light if I feel, and on this side it will always be it will never get hot, and I will always be able to control the weapon without burning. AKs burn real bad, so usually somebody has to wear gloves. I usually do, but not with these hand guards, or the guards, if you will, the rail guards. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. This AK is probably one of my favorites. I barely shoot it anymore because I just don't want to wear it out anymore. I would be devastated if I had to even change the barrel, which I might just change the barrel one day soon, just so that I can have a weapon where I know for a fact it's completely reliable all over again. But I think I'm just gonna keep it as is, just never use it, and if I had to, and when it comes down to it, then I'll use it when I have to. As you can see, also, this is a pretty heavy weapon. This is not like the other one. I can't just swing it around. Like, this thing is no joke. So it's a very stable shot. When I post some shooting with this, you'll see that when I fire this weapon, it doesn't move. This thing, I can fire this stupid fast. I can fire my Mini even faster than this. But it's a Romanian rifle. This one's the Chinese Norenko. This one is a harder hitting weapon. I don't know why, it's just like that. I even put inside here, right here, and I recommend everyone getting this. This is it's a buffer stabilizer, if you will. I don't even remember what it's called, but basically when the bolt comes back, it springs instead of slams into you. So when it slams into you, you jump a little bit and your recoil gets affected. But with this rubber piece, with that rubber piece that was in there, it springs into action and goes back. All right, so it springs and goes back versus bam, 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 bam. It's a well thought out weapon. I absolutely love this system. So again, these are the two rifles that pretty much started it all for me. And you know, we all got to start somewhere. Some people used to make fun of the Chinese Norenko so much. They say, oh, that's a piece of trash. Now in like almost 15 years later having this thing, literally everybody asked to buy this from me. And I would never sell this ever. Again, it's my first rifle ever. It's my kind of dream starter, as well as my M4, my AR-15 16-inch rifle. So these are the starters. These are the ones that kind of brought me into this whole thing, this whole world of weapon system creation, if you will. I started building because of these two guns. I'm more into smaller weapons now. This 16-inch rifle and that 16-inch rifle they're just too big. So if I were to use this, it would be on a more home, maybe like out on a ranch. If I had a rancher or something like that, I would use this weapon and that, because I'm seeing far distance and I'm able to shoot at far distance. But the kind of weapons that I use now, anywhere between 7 to 14-inch rifles, those are where I find my sweet spot. So I'm a 10-3 guy, but I do have some rifles that are, you know, again, pistol rifles that are, you know, in a little bit longer length, especially when I throw a can on. So if I have a 7-inch can and a 7-inch barrel, voila, you got your 14-inch rifle. So stuff like that. I advise you guys to kind of not do what I did. I bought instead of researched first. So research first what you plan on doing with your guns, and then go from there and build from there. Now I'm more into, you know, this kind of style building. This is a 6-hour, I forget what, Spectre Comp, right? I built this from sig.com itself. I started with the frame, because I already had one from the 365X, and then I just built the rest from there. It was super plug and play, super easy. So I enjoy stuff like that. That now is kind of my forte. I like building pistols and working on pistols. I'm a Glock guy and I'm a SIG guy. I don't have very many SIGs because I don't trust the line too much, but I do trust the 365 XL a lot more than I do the 320. And the reason why is because I have a manual safety. The 320s, they usually don't come with a manual safety. I believe the M17 and 18 might. I don't know. Haven't dealt with them in a very long time since they got created a few years ago. But I'm not a big fan, to be honest with you, of the bigger framed 320s, bigger framed SIGs anymore. I used to have the 226, 229. They were cool, but they were heavy, bulky, stuff like that. So I ended up going with Glock because it just fits in my hands. The way I present the weapon is, it just conforms right to how I draw my weapon. I just love that weapon system. So find out what works for you. And like I said, you got to start somewhere. So start small, but start smart. If you want to go big, like something like this, that's cool too. But to be honest with you, for the most part, I know people always convert to a smaller style weapon. They always say, I want a home defense style weapon. And that entails for you to have a very different style rifle versus something like this and something like this. Could I take this rifle and pull in and do all that stuff? Sure, but it's a pain in the ass. I would much rather have a rifle that the barrel is down here, takes off this much, or even here, takes off this much, and you have a smaller AK build like a Draco or something like that, and it's lighter, you can cut corners easier, and the stocks are not stocks, they're braces, so they're lighter. It's a completely different style weapon, so that this way when you take that shot, you're able to do that and maneuver really quickly in and out of acquisition. But again, that's just me. Some guys are bigger than me too, so they would be able to use this and say, you know, I can use that like your 7-inch rifles or your 12-inch rifles or your 14-inch rifles. That's cool, great. You have to figure it out for yourself. But anyway, that's it for today. I'm about to go on lunch, so I appreciate you guys tuning in. Love you guys. Be safe. Peace. Get out there and shoot. Train.